team so far?
Yeah, we're excited to go play someone else besides ourselves. I think, it's just so different when you have someone else exploiting things that maybe you're missing in the gym, just playing your system. Colorado State, I think, is just a fantastic team to play. I think they've got a pretty good shot of being a top 25, top 20 team by the end of the year. They return about everybody. Really well-coached team, so it'll be a great opportunity to kind of see where we stand before we open up things next week.
Questions? Did you learn anything on film that wasn't apparent live from blue-white, black-white, sorry?
I think you learn a lot of things. Yeah, I don't think I took away like a massive gaping hole from anything. I think we just got to hone in on some connection issues, some block setup. I thought serving for some people was good. Serving for others needs to be better. Just kind of taking small steps. We don't need to be peaking right now. We just need to be taking one step forward.
Were you guys as good out of system as you thought you were that night?
Gosh, that was a long time ago, you guys. I'm trying to give you pertinent stuff here. Honestly, I can't remember what our numbers were out of system off the top of my head. But we watched the whole match with the team the next morning and kind of went point by point and pointed out things that, again, a lot of points, this is great. A lot of points, maybe we didn't execute, but that was the right decision. And then other times it's like, maybe we won the point, but that wasn't the right decision. So, it's just that learning curve.
Serving, how much of that do you attribute to under the lights jitters versus maybe things that do need to be sharpened up that you're seeing more day to day?
Well, I think, that's why you do this, right? That you get through some of those nerves. I think our tempo for some players was lower than it is in the gym. We were tracking every serve, so we could tell the players what they were serving versus what they're doing in practice. I think that's really good info. And again, it was different for different kids. Some kids need to go back and be more aggressive. Some, one player that's usually low air was really high air, so I think it varies kid to kid.
What was your reaction to, if any, to being 12th in the preseason bowl?
Yeah, I mean, it's great for social media. It's good promotion for the program, but ultimately it's where we're out in December is really what's important.
We're a little more a week away from the regular season starting. When we talked to you guys a couple of weeks ago, Ava had mentioned, I can't remember, one of them had mentioned, we want to go to a Final Four. I want to go to a Final Four. How do you approach that this preseason, trying to manage the expectations while keeping focused on what's right in front of them?
Well, I think, anytime you're part of a team, generally you're going to set some goals. And, us talking about where we want to go, I think is important. And I think it's important for them to see that and believe that. But the fact is we gotta do the process to get there. And so that's where we'll spend our time. So that's a lot of in the gym things, but that's a lot of off the court things. We started class yesterday. That's a distraction, right? So are they going to class? Are they staying on top of their homework? How is that affecting their sleep? How is that affecting their stress? All those things are going to determine whether we have a chance to get to that goal. And then, even if you get to that chance, some things have to go your way. There's all these pieces to it. So I think you keep them focused, keep all of us focused. I think this is important for the coaches too, of every day getting better. This non-conference season is going to be a grind. I think it's super fun, but it's super challenging. And so how do we prepare them? And then if we win a big match, how do we prepare them for another big match? If we lose a big match, how do we mentally bounce back? All those things are going to be really critical.
Do you like the expectations? 12 preseason, pick to win the Big East. Do you like the expectations that you guys have had over the last decade or whatever it is now?
I honestly really don't pay that much of attention to it. I saw that we were unanimously picked first in the Big East, and I'm like, I hate that. I would love to be picked fifth. I love the underdog idea, but I just, it's not something that Rob Anderson is locked into that stuff. He'll point out whether we've gone up or down. We just got to go into the gym and get better each day.
Is that pretty consistently your messaging with your teams over the years? Is like that stuff doesn't matter at all? I know that kids that are a little more in tune paying to social media may take more stock in it than maybe you do.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't even talk about it with the team. So that they probably do, and I'm sure. I mean, again, social is so big, so they're seeing it, and maybe I should address it, but it's not even something that is brought up in our gym.
How do you feel about your physicality? I guess I know I kind of ask you a variation of this probably every year, but just comparing roster sizes from a height standpoint year to year, it feels like this is one of your, if not biggest team, especially.
Don't use big. Tall is the word.
Sorry, tall.
I've been educated on that with
You're
women.
good, you're good. Your tallest team, especially in the middle blocking position, was that a goal to be taller, more physical, like match up with everybody better, or did it just kind of happen?
I mean, ultimately, you're always trying to recruit tall, athletic players, and sometimes you get players that are a little smaller, like an Ava Martin, but are fiercely athletic and jump out of the gym, and then other players you get that are 6'5" and maybe aren't as athletic. The national team players are those that can do both, right? That are highly athletic. So I think, I do think philosophically, holistically, if you look even at my coaching career, we have liked tall players. When my daughter was coming out, people were like, "Well, are you looking?" And I was like, I really don't do small setters traditionally. I'm not saying that wouldn't change for the right kid, but, I just think as coaches, we kind of do, we kind of figure out what fits. And now, with that said, we would pivot, but I do think to compete at that top 10 to 5 level, national championship level, you need to be big in a lot of positions. And so that is something that we prioritize, but you have to get athletes. I mean, you can't just get a tall kid to stand out there.
Speaking of national team, you had another one on that stage this weekend. Jaylee.
The Pan Am Games.
Yeah, had some Jaylee moments in the first match for sure. What are your thoughts on just kind of her? I mean, she's about to be playing professionally here.
Yep.
In Omaha in a minute, but just her getting the USA team.
Yeah, Jaylee's had just, I think, an incredible career since her time graduated from Creighton. She's been in Europe the entire time, played in a lot of different countries, had great success. I think has loved the European culture, and so has been that kid that's really leaned into it. We were thrilled that she was going to come back to Omaha next year at Love. That'll be a great team with a lot of Nebraska ties on that. And, I actually was texting with her last week, and I was like, I said, I saw Winters on the Pan Am roster. And she's like, that's me? Because I know what it was. I asked her if she wanted to play in our blue-white. And she's like, I'm in Anaheim. And I was like, are you on the Pan Am games? So I actually didn't know that. So until then, when we were texting. But, she's, from watching her back in the day, like, she's a great player. And that kid's a winner. And, she's been a winner since she arrived her freshman year. And, as she, I think, so eloquently said, all I do is win. And I think that's still her mentality.
I'm curious, I don't know if I've asked you this close to the preseason or if somebody else already has. Is there one thing you think is your guys' biggest strength entering this year? You're like, going into this match, we know we're going to bring this, X, Y, Z. Is there something like that?
I actually had a mentor ask me, like, what are you guys going to be the best at? We think, you have to be good at everything, right? Like, you can't have a huge drop-off. But I think, we are good at putting up good second contacts and have people all over the court, so way out of system that we can get swings. So, again, that out-of-system game, if you see us sending free balls over, I'm cringing. We do not want to send free balls over, ever. And that's been a big focal point of how do we disrupt teams on the other side.
To that effect, like I know that, Kendra, Nora, Ava, the middles that are putting balls down are probably going to get a lot of the headlines, but like what you put together in your, DS core and libero core and handling those second balls and making sure you're as good out of system as you want to be, how has that group done so far this fall to your standard, to the standard you want to achieve?
Well, we have a lot of different people behind just our littles doing normal size, doing our secondary this year. So we've spent a lot of time on it. And we're doing well on it. I think we can continue to get better. We think we have some nuance that we've talked to people about on to do some things that are different than opposing teams. So hopefully as the season progresses, we can start to do those things. But it is a constant focal point for us that every player can put up a good hittable secondary ball so that we can get not only swings but kills out of it.
Do one or two more.
With the rule change to
Double contact?
double contact, does that allow the opportunity for more innovation offensively, I guess?
I think so.
You do?
Hmm.
Keeping it.
Yeah, we'll see what we do.
Okay.
Anything else?
You're stranded on an island. 6
Where are we
months.
going?
What 3 items are you taking?
Oh my gosh. My husband, see an item?
Priority item, actually, yeah.
He keeps my life in order. I don't know.
Take 3 people if you're.
Which child do I leave behind? Maybe is the question.
One's self-sufficient, you know.
I don't know. Yeah.
Hopefully never.
Right.
All in face painted on.
I don't think I would not be the person to survive on a desert island. I wouldn't be there for 6 months. I'd be like, I'm out. Thanks, guys.